Good morning. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for December 23rd, 2017.
This week, we've got things to talk about, like Arrow.
Apple is doing stupid things again.
And The Office, because that's relevant news again. Stay tuned!
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Good evening, or morning,
or afternoon.
Wherever.
To the Barrel Roll
After hours.
Newscast. This is not after hours.
It could be after
this is
hours for
regular
somebody else.
hours.
Someone is probably drinking and watching us.
That'll be next
To you,
week.
good
Me.
sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For watching.
Or ma'am.
We
Not
can
just
make
sir.
a drinking game for you.
Thank you, they. I'm using that right?
Them's.
Them's.
Them's you. Welcome to the last one for the year.
Yes.
I want us not to laugh.
Yes, it
No,
is.
next week is
Officially-
next week
officially-
is not a newscast.
It is not a new. This is officially the last
We haven't come
one.
up with a name yet. So it's
Next
still
week
called
is
We
our
still haven't figured that out.
next week is our end of the year special, yet
We're
to be
still
named thing.
TBD.
Newscast.
TBD. Oh, let's just call it TBD.
I want TBA.
Okay, TBA.
I want TBA.
TBA cast.
Sounds dirty.
To be announced cast.
Oh.
In progress.
Doesn't have the same rule.
We can't steal the Nintendo one.
I'm not saying that.
What? We're not stealing Powercast if we take it.
Let's take
They
it.
decided not to use it.
I think that did a great. That's another one we can mention here really quickly.
Oh yeah.
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 We're gonna talk about stuff. We stretched very thin.
We looked
This is a
high
very
and low.
slow, thin.
It
news.
is, you know what, as it should be. It is the end of the year.
It is.
People
Things
are
happen.
going home for
Pe-
the holidays.
People are buying video games.
Boxing Day-ing, Christmasing, just spending time with family.
Either way, some quick news that didn't manage to make it.
Onto our list.
Any list.
This is actually kind of a crazy thing that happened out of nowhere. So, the Nintendo Power magazine, as you may have remembered way back when,
Yes.
I think they dropped it in, what, 2009? 10-ish? No, wait, no. It would have been around 2013 or so. I want to say 2012, 2013. They printed their last issue, sort of the last hurrah of the Nintendo Power magazine.
Yeah.
They've been printing it since basically 1996. And so it's back. Nintendo Power is back, but as a podcast,
Yeah.
an official Nintendo podcast.
Well, it made me laugh because I subscribed to Nintendo Power when they were starting to lose subscribers.
I was always on and off.
Well, but they released a thing where you could get like 12 issues for $24 or something. Like you got a year
that's
of
what I did.
so you got it
Everyone's-
super cheap, and I'm like, well done then. So
And-
that's how I started getting my Nintendo Powers, and I was like, well, this isn't a bad magazine. I mean,
Right.
it wasn't,
I mean, the problem with it is
They were never great.
They got thinner and thinner just
which
because
is what happened. I mean, that's
because it's
print
a
media.
dedicated magazine. They can't
Yeah.
really spend half the magazine talking about it's that Sony other
Man, that God of War game coming out looks stellar.
Yeah, that racing game from Forza is pretty
Yeah.
out. Yeah, no, they're not. And then you have to account for advertising.
Well, and my other piece too was in a Nintendo magazine, you're kind of hoping that they can get exclusive interviews with people, and they really
Or even reveals, like they used to do.
Yeah.
Like that's what they used to do, and
But
then that stuff started getting slimmer and slimmer, and it was just a bunch of guys talking about video games. Well,
And with the onset of the internet,
It's us.
like reveals like that,
Correct.
Were getting very, very limited.
and again, to a magazine, you're not going to be like, oh, we're going to talk about the brand new Metroid game in this magazine
Yeah.
that only
By the
10,000
time
people
you read it,
Right.
it's already out.
Because only one person bought the Nintendo Power magazine,
And you're
scanned
the-
all the articles into the internet, and then boom.
Not even scanned, just posted pictures from their phone.
Yeah, it was even that half the time where there's click, and it's like, can I get a high quality scan of this, please?
No, I'm good enough. These phone cameras are good enough.
I remember ages ago, when I did photo editing, and you cut stuff out of images, and you'd get like the cool magazine picture. And you're like, damn, like So you're looking online for someone who has actually like scanned it with a decent scanner as opposed to.
And then remember all those times they would make like fake news.
Oh yeah.
But like as a joke.
Yeah.
Especially the April Fool's months. Those were really good.
So yeah, they're back as a podcast.
Yes,
That's
but
cool.
yeah.
But they made the mistake of not calling themselves the Nintendo Powercast.
That was a missed opportunity. Like
Henceforth, we shall be known as the
Nintendo Power
barrel roll Powercast.
What is it called? Like the Nintendo Power Podcast.
Yeah.
It's something so generic.
Well, it's because it is the Nintendo
It's
Power
Podcast.
and it is their podcast. But yeah, you sit there going like,
But
take pod. No one uses. I'm sorry, no one really uses pod.
we use it to say there's a podcast.
Yeah.
No one uses it in the name of it anymore.
Yeah.
Of their cast anymore.
Right.
It's always a pun or just straight up just another word.
Yeah.
No one uses the It's
Or
always,
even the Nintendo Power Show. Like the Nintendo Power Show would have been
Sure, that would have
killer. That would have been killer. We should steal that too.
Power show.
Nintendo Power Hour.
See, so many.
That's what That's
Right. That's our thing.
Hour
now.
of Power.
Hour of Power. Except ours usually go for longer than an hour.
no.
Don't tell the people
For the
that.
year-end special,
That might go a little long.
Power hour.
that's gonna go longer than an hour. I'm
I think, like,
guaranteeing you now.
I think we're gonna yell at each other.
There's 4 of us here arguing about Game of the Year, Movie of the Year, and a bunch of other junk.
I think that one's gonna.
And we'll be drinking, so.
Yes.
I still have those Hulk
I don't know
fists
if
here, right?
people
So
let us drink on
Yeah,
air.
I think they're in the
yeah, we
office
could just
somewhere,
use those
I
Hulk
think.
fists if we get really rowdy.
Yep.
I don't know if you people let us drink on air.
It's
Sure,
the
it just
internet.
has to go in the cups.
It's
Okay,
the internet.
so
the
it's
internet does
water.
not care.
It's water.
Sure.
Sure. I'm okay with that. I think I'm gonna make chili next week. Look, we're planning on.
We're planning next week,
we're
and we're not
telling
even
you.
done this week's.
Well, that's how slow this week is.
Anyway, so
What do you think, Grinch?
I hate this game.
He's too busy focusing on this right
Yeah,
now.
he's working on his list.
He doesn't like it.
Checking it twice.
He doesn't. No, that's the wrong person.
He dressed up as that person.
I'm sorry.
Come on, I've watched
No.
this movie like 3 times this week.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season, but please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight or his head wasn't screwed on just
Cover
right.
me. Cover him.
But I think the most likely reason of all was the size of his heart was 2 sizes too small.
And he dressed up
Goodbye,
as
guys.
Santa and stole. And that's it. That's all we got for
Goodbye.
you.
That's it. That's
I'm
it.
just kidding. Yeah, that's a 23-minute thing. I can, yeah.
Except I would listen to it in French.
Si no hablo inglés, ¿por qué?
I saw Coco. Oh wait, that's the wrong show.
Oh God! Oh my God! Spoiler! We're doing that thing again.
Actually, we are. I haven't changed it. I made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
I
We
got
did
it.
this last week, too.
Quick! Somebody hit the button to change the
Do the
TV. Good job,
Do the
Chris.
thing.
No, Chris already did it.
Press the mute button.
Press the shh. That's the change TV button.
Don't tell them, people. They don't need to know that. Either way,
We're going to live tweet this, too.
we're gonna Vine.
This isn't fining. I'm Instagramming, yo.
Send it to Brian.
Yes. So the
Anywho.
Nintendo Power, not Pat. not
Coming to you.
Pa- No, it's out. It's out now.
Yep.
It's
So
out now.
Well, it's coming to you.
It's you can after this.
Yeah, you should go check it out after you finish watching us.
I don't. But
We advertise them. We hope they
so my
just
big-
advertise us, too.
Yes, that
Oh,
you know,
there you go.
we'll give you a bone.
Yep.
Give us a bigger bone because you have more money.
Not really. Like that's the reason they shut down.
Well,
Is-
Nintendo is a.
Well, they must have
is a-
started up for a reason.
Yeah.
They have money.
But I'm
To
assuming.
be honest, the production on something like that is really, really low budget, anyways.
Ta-da!
So-
Wait,
We
right?
are
we
high
spend
end.
fortunes.
High end.
Yes. Step
With
one,
our
get a
5
house.
cents that we've
Step
made.
one, get a house.
Yep. Get a building of some kind.
A building.
It has to have power.
Light.
That comes with power.
Light.
Internet.
Internet.
Which comes with power, too.
You can even do it
Well,
on a
but you
phone.
gotta-
You can do it on a phone.
You could.
Remember when people used to do podcasts on their phone?
Yeah.
Circa like 2012. Wow.
So long ago.
I'm sorry. It's technology has jumped.
Big time.
So,
Oh.
anyways, good job
Jump to
for
that.
Nintendo Power Podcast.
Now we get to jump to the actual stuff we have.
Yes.
Surprisingly, that was the more interesting news.
That. Yep. Good remembering on
For
that
you
one.
guys.
I think it's just because reading it growing up is sort of
That's true.
Sort
I
of like
remember
the
I read
big
the
thing.
Sony one.
Oh, what was it? That one's still around.
PlayStation.
PSM?
No, it wasn't PSM.
Is it PSM? Oh,
I think it was just called PlayStation Magazine.
maybe. So, moving on to the next news thing. Arrow.
Yes.
That's a
show.
show.
That is a show.
What's going on? Oh, the Beastie Boys. Oh,
The Beastie Boys fought and possibly died for my right to party. So,
I'm qualified. I'm eligible for partying.
either way,
So the Arrow TV
Arrow.
show, as we may all know,
I've not watched that. in a while.
Deathstroke comes on and off that show multiple times.
okay, so he was the main character.
He was the main villain in the first
Season.
season or second season?
First season.
First season.
Big
second-
time, at least first season.
No,
Yeah.
second. Sorry.
And, yeah, second.
Second season, I think. And then they killed him off, and then they brought him back.
Well,
They
and
killed
Kate, to be
him off.
fair,
Well, they captured him. They put him away. He was no
was
longer
locked up, yeah.
he was not locked up, and they brought him back as sort of like a good,
A reoccurring
a
person.
which is what, that works out perfectly. And I
Which
mean,
is
Slade
fine.
was part of everything on the island he was doing with.
Yes, they wrote that character in quite well.
Yep.
Well, with not Joe Magliello, but whoever's playing Deathstroke in the DCEU movies,
Yeah,
That's
that guy.
Joe.
I think so.
That's Joe.
something Magliello.
I thought that was Joe.
I think it's Joe.
I don't remember. The guy from How I Met Your Mother. One of the characters from How I Met Your Mother. Either way,
Anywho.
because of that, because of his role there, and because of that role being used in the movies, Deathstroke will no longer be used in the Arrow TV shows. The
Correct.
Arrowverse.
But they said this a while ago, though, which is kind of confusing why they're saying it again.
Because a while ago when they announced the Deathstroke movie was being made, he was put off limits.
And also before that, this was before all the shifting and
Yeah.
everything with all the way the Justice League performed, and
Who knows? But if they're readjusting the movie industry side of things,
although
it might change again.
they did reconfirm that the Batman is still coming out, and they did reconfirm that the Flash movie is.
Batman's their only seller.
Well, I mean, the Flash is pretty good too, and yes, he's.
Although we don't know how he'll do it in an actual movie.
When their first movie being Flashpoint.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
that's,
I mean,
And I think they've
you're jumping right
we're gonna
in there.
reverse everything we've done.
Get wrecked.
Yep.
So, either way, that's sad news, I suppose, just because diversity. And we've
It
had,
sounds like whenever he showed up, he was one of the better parts of the show.
Deathstroke was good.
and you know this happened in the past with the Arrow as well with Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Like they showed the back of her
Yeah.
head for like a split second.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Bless you. Bless you. So it's not the first time that's happened, which means, I mean,
DC's biggest piece is they don't think people can
multi-think?
translate going like, oh, the TV show is the TV show, and these are the movies.
So what does this mean for the
Same with
Flash
Marvel,
TV
though.
show? Well, the thing is, the problem with Marvel, or the thing that Marvel gets, is it's a one big universe. They don't need to worry about separating stuff.
Yeah, they don't want to worry about. Well, and see, that's the thing. If I think Kevin Feige was in charge of TV, we'd have them connected because he'd have that overall grand scopy plan.
Yeah, he does.
Whereas Jeff Loeb and the other TV people are like, let's do whatever the hell we want to, and we'll call it a day.
Hence Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. So, but yeah, like, what does this mean for the Flash as a whole? Because
I don't
he's a
think
pretty
that's
big
gonna
character.
affect-
It's not going to really affect him
Well,
that
it
much.
can't affect him because he's already on.
He's
there.
and he's a massive name character. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a dedicated fan base for him already.
Yeah.
But I mean, we said that ages ago with.
It's just the phrasing that they said that they were renting the Deathstroke character from DC, and that just.
But a lot of times that is the case too, because even you talk something like Disney Infinity, where they own Star Wars and Marvel and all of that stuff, they still had to go to all of the people who make those films and get their agreement signed that they could make, the Frozen characters and the this character and the
or
that
like
character.
a
and
Ray character.
they couldn't just make whoever the heck they wanted to make. They had to actually go to Disney and be like, okay, we want to make this person. Can we have that agreement that we can make that person?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, we want to make this person. Does that sound cool to you guys?
No.
And them going, don't do that right now because we have this coming down the pipeline. Like, as I understand that piece.
Yeah.
But this part where you've already had Deathstroke on the show.
Multiple times.
Multiple
Full
times.
season.
And done really well with the character, too. And
Yeah.
maybe that's why they're pulling him off, is they're worried that their movie's going to be shit like, half their other ones. And they're like, oh, we can't be outdone by a TV.
Making movies for
No,
villains.
can't do that. Must make movies. That is the
villains.
DC way.
They have one movie coming out this year, guys. One movie.
I know someone put the picture up of like the slate of superhero flicks.
Marvel's
coming out.
got 3 in 2018.
Well, plus
Is it 3? Just 3?
Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man,
plus the animated Spider-Man movies coming out.
which is sort of like
Sony
a half.
stepchild of
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, no, there was like this long list, and everybody's like, so Marvel owns it, 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 DC. Or Disney owns
Disney,
it.
yeah.
And you're just sitting there going like,
DC.
and Aquaman of all the heroes to be coming out.
Yeah, they need to push that back, I feel. But
No, they're pretty much done it.
It's done. You
Is it
got to
done?
do it. Yeah.
I guess so.
Like that's the problem is DC jumped so hard in.
And they're so behind.
But that's their
That's their
mentality.
problem. Is they're behind.
They
have
feel
to
they're
stop.
behind.
Yeah, they have to stop feeling like they're behind and just.
Put the gas pedal. Use some money.
Well, no, just make
Why?
movies. Like stop trying to catch up and just
Oh yeah,
just
do your
make
thing.
good movies. Like it's not like
'Cause
Marvel went, oh, Iron Man did well, quick.
we need to make an Avengers movie.
Yeah, not, but and here's the other part. Marvel didn't go quick. Iron Man did good. Let's do a movie about the Mandarin
Yeah, no.
No,
without Iron Man. Let's just do a Mandarin movie.
No,
That
they-
sounds like a plan, right?
No, they totally just started realizing what properties they had and they could.
They did. They went through the list, going, okay, like people, comic book people know Captain America. Comic book people know Thor.
Hulk.
Let's build on these guys that we have and go with it. And they did, and then they slowly built up, and now Marvel can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Yeah.
Whereas DC's just like, okay, we've got Superman out of the gate. Let's go with everything else we've got.
Does Warner Brothers own any sort of TV studio? What?
CW is Warner Bros.
So would it be feasible for them to do like a DCU TV show? Or I guess
It's called
like-
Arrow in the Flash. It's on the CW.
Arrow.
But they're in a
Flash.
different universe.
Legends.
But they're in a different universe. It's just merch.
There's even that Black Lightning or whatever.
Not
wa-
connected.
Yes.
But it's
And Teen
still
Titans
DC.
apparently isn't connected either.
See, and
That
I
throws
feel
me
like
off.
they're doing the Supergirl thing, where they're going to make it.
Alternate Earth.
Yeah, and then eventually once it proves that it can do okay, they'll have it join in. Because the Titans show looks like all the costumes they're releasing right now look killer.
Yes, and
Like those guys are doing a
Yeah.
And you know what?
bang-up job
The
on
same
that
thing
show.
happened with the Arrow and the Flash too. Like the Flash costume.
Yeah, that turned out.
The Flash costume started really kind of.
But it's supposed to, because it
janky.
evolved.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like it looked really rough, but
Yeah.
then now you look at it. Yes, he's got the red. He's got the
Yeah.
white. He's got the yellow.
Well, and that's because Cisco's always working. Like they made that part of the show where he's like, "Oh,
And
I can do this to your
and
suit."
I'm sorry,
You'll get
Cisco
that.
is the best part of the entire show. He's the funniest. Thing.
I stopped watching it after like.
He is
I haven't
definitely a
watched it in
reason.
while.
See, that's my thing is like I keep up with the Arrowverse and the Flash universe and all that stuff, and just like all the stuff they're trying to push into these shows.
Well, the shows can.
But you almost
they-
they almost made you feel like they have to, because if they're going to get stuff.
No, it's not even pushing good stuff into the show. It's literally like Felicity.
Yeah, that was a weird
Is
relationship.
people on the internet are like, oh my god, she has to go away, and apparently on the crossover. You've watched the crossover?
I haven't caught
Do you
any of
care
it.
if I spoil
Go
part
crazy.
of- Well, either way, there's part where Iris and Barry are supposed to be getting like hitched.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that I know.
Either way, Felicity interrupts the entire thing to like propose to
Ollie,
Ollie
of course.
during their ceremony, and
Right.
everybody's like, "Can she just die?"
Yeah.
Like-
Also, that's not the relationship that he's supposed to be in.
Well, that's the other piece. Is everybody's like, "That's not the relationship that Ollie's supposed to be in."
Maybe she turns into.
No,
No, 'cause
that
they
character-
already have Black Canary.
That character's already in the show.
Yeah, but there's different variations. But
No,
There can be, but she can't pull that off.
You don't.
she's the nerdy type.
Like she's not supposed to be that person. So that's why everybody's like, just bring Laurel back. And-
What's that show? Legends of Tomorrow keeps talking about that, and they
Yeah.
never do it.
That's like everybody's like, just bring this person back and call it a day and get rid of this person, because there's a good piece to Arrow and there's like the other
So-
stuff that has to do with
Felicity.
Felicity and Oliver that's junk. So everybody just wants to see Arrow
Yeah.
and no one wants to see the other part, which it shouldn't be in a superhero movie like a show. You should want both sides to that arc.
Right.
And that's where the Flash started getting to me, was like, should I tell Iris? Should I not tell Iris? I'm going to slowly tell Iris, but then not tell Iris. And then I love Iris and we can be together, but then we
Yeah,
cannot. And I'm like,
once they ripped that Band-Aid off in that show, it actually started picking up speed. No
Right.
pun, no pun
Ah.
intended.
but that's what I mean. Like, and then, yeah, once you do rip that Band-Aid off, you have to commit.
And they do in that show. They
Which is good.
They fairly do. They do
And then
for
everybody's
the
kind
most
of
part.
pissed because Iris is now in charge, apparently, of the team, but, like, whatever.
There's a lot of other things.
That's
to
I know. There's so the DC universe on TV is slowly getting a little, but yeah, hopefully Titan. If Titan does well, that'll turn out well. And we were talking about Black Lightning the other day, and I'm like, with one.
I totally forgot about that show.
And my coworker was like, they're making this like Black Lightning show, like it's their African American superhero, and I'm like, I know that everybody wishes was Static Shock, and he's like, that would have been so much better.
You had a kid to do it. Except, apparently, no one really liked Static Shock other than us.
And half the internet, as far as I've been looking.
Yes, and yeah, the internet, but like the general population goes like, oh, right, Static Shock was that really weird 90s.
Yeah, but this is the point where you can turn it into something wicked, because no one really knows Static Shock. Like, that's my piece, is you can look at Static Shock and go, okay, there was a 90s cartoon show.
And it started as a cartoon, not a comic.
Right.
It was a cartoon.
So that's what I mean. So you're going to have, like, those kids that watched Animaniacs and then Static Shock.
Yeah.
They're going to be the ones that are going to be mad at us if we change anything. But there's only, like, 6. So this is a superhero where you have free reign over whatever you want to do. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. The readership of Guardians is...
very thin.
Yeah.
That. So when you change them in the movie, you're pissing off that 2%.
Yeah.
But you're making a decent movie overall for everybody else.
Static Shock needs to come back, though.
Just
in general.
Either way, yes.
So, moving...
Arrow, Deathstroke, no go anymore.
Yes, for now. I'm going to say for now.
For now.
I'm going to say for now.
Yep.
I'm going to say for
once they get rid of the Deathstroke movie.
Once that disappears.
Moving on. What else we got here?
So Apple's a company.
They make phones.
They make phones.
They make iPads. They make computer technology products. Well, over the years, people have been wondering why the slower performance on some of the older iPhones with newer operating system updates. Well, before it was just, Apple would never talk about it. It was just, this older hardware can't handle iOS, blah, blah, blah.
And that's honestly the...
That seems, innocence, or I guess ignorance is bliss
Yeah.
for a lot of that. But apparently Apple came out later this week saying no, we legitimately held those versions back on older phones to preserve battery life. And now the big question is, okay, so you guys have said that. Are you sure it's not just because you're forcing people to upgrade to a newer phone?
And that's exactly what it is. They're just coming out with a way that they can say it without getting sued.
Well,
they're getting sued anyway.
Fun fact. So that's totally it. Like if you really think about it, they're slowing down older phones, yes, to optimize the operating system. Mm-hmm. But if users are saying like, oh, my iPhone 4 is a piece of garbage, I need to get the new phone. Like this is ridiculous. And then users get the new phone and they go, oh, this is so much better. I don't know how blah 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 did this back before.
I've never said that.
Well, you're not on an older phone yet.
Yes, so. I am.
What are you on?
This is a good 2 generations behind.
No, but I was talking more like iPhone 4 and 4S.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
But because yours is what, like an iPhone 6 or 6S?
6.
The Grinch thinks this is a fantastic idea.
He would.
People?
No, slowing down phones.
He would, wouldn't he? He would.
I think it's the 6X. I don't know. It's a generation or 2 behind.
Right, but you're still fairly all right. You're
for now.
Yes, for now.
See,
exactly. Like what? How does this work when after the iPhone 10 to older devices such as yours, are they gonna do the same thing again?
Oh, probably.
And they could easily say it could have just been the newer updates don't work well with the old
or do what Google does. Don't release it. Don't release if it doesn't work well.
Which I know pisses off some Android people, but
I'm sorry, that's
I would rather my phone work
on a stable
operating system than crash all the time.
Exactly.
But why would you come out and say anything?
Like just ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. We all know that it's an old phone. It doesn't work well.
You know what Apple needs is Steve Jobs.
They have enough money to animate the dead, right?
They really should try because they desperately need that man because he was the only thing holding that company together.
He was actually giving ideas, actual support, being a good face of the company.
Yeah, and I mean, as much of a dick as you hear him being, you hear stuff about. Correct, and that's their job.
Yeah.
And he wasn't an idiot.
No.
Like, people sit there going, like, you know, the president of the United States right now was a good businessman, and you go, yeah.
Okay,
But
but
he
he
really
can't
know-
run a country.
And that's why people were like, because a country is, it's a giant business. And I'm like, yeah, but have you looked at his businesses? Because they don't,
They've been bankrupt
they don't
3
do
times.
that well.
Have you looked at the current business right now?
Correct. So that's, you sit there going, but Steve Jobs, he was good at business. And yes, he was a bit of a dick, but at least he wasn't an idiot.
He did what he needed to do.
Correct. And again, yeah. So, but that's what I mean. Like, an Apple at least was innovative in coming out with newer ideas, and they were ahead of the time.
I will say that iPhone 10 does look good. I
Sure.
Sure. $1,000 to get
That's
it.
Over in Canada, it's 1,200 or 300.
It's stupid.
And that's not even including
You could
the
get
carrier costs.
Right.
you could get a small starter car with that.
Sure.
I could buy a lot of things with it.
No kidding.
Movies
Like,
can I
it's,
buy with that?
I know.
I
Like,
can
that's
get-
my
I
thing.
can
I'm
get
sitting
another
there.
computer.
Or
Well,
that.
and it's funny because
that.
like that phone came out, and my one coworker who is like a Apple guy, he's got the whole ecosystem. So I mean, I get it. He's in.
Dedicated.
He's in.
They
Once
locked-
you're in, you're in.
They locked him in.
Pretty much. But he's sitting there going like, "Yo, yeah, like I'd like the X, but that's not gonna happen." So he went out and just got the 8. Because he's like,
the
it's
same
cheaper.
hardware-
Well,
it's
it's
the same
cheaper now, and yeah.
It's the same hardware.
Yeah. But that's what makes me laugh. But you just sit there going, holy jeez. Oh, Apple. You should... And again, don't say anything. None of us have been... No one's really been saying anything other than, oh,
No one's
It's just
my
no
phone
anything at
slows
all.
down, but it's old. And that's what you do. You go, oh, my phone must have been
I need a
old.
new one.
Mine must need it, yeah. Because that's what I mean. I do. I get a new cell phone. This was the first time I think I switched cell phones. Like, got a newer phone.
Yeah.
And didn't really notice a speed upgrade because my old phone wasn't that old.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get,
Yeah.
at the end of my 2 years with my
Whatever.
carrier, the phone's paid off. So when you to renew the contract, they essentially
Yeah,
just
the
hand
option.
you a new phone.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I shall take a new phone, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this was the first time I think I noticed no big speed difference.
And you know,
Before
within,
that, it was
and
a
within
big
2
time.
years, 2 years is actually not too bad for technology as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it is, it was 2 years instead of 3.
Because everyone says that about 1080p screens on like phones. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this phone's got like quad HD things on the screen. It looks so crisp. I'm like, are you looking at it like this though?
Yeah.
You look at a phone like this, it is.
It's the same.
It's like you don't need anything higher than a 1080p display on a phone.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't know. Either way, Apple, you should
You should just
Zip it.
stop talking.
I support you, but stop talking.
But that's like
Stop talking.
So we'll move on to other.
The final.
our last bit of news on this slow news week.
Slow news week, hey? Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's
Britta.
really slow.
Slow news week.
The Office.
Yeah, it's
Apparently,
a show.
they're moving on with the revival.
Without so far any of the main cast being
No, there's only one that said
confirmed.
no.
I know, but they haven't confirmed anybody else. You think if Steve Carell is going to say no, that
John
you'd sit there...
Krasinski's gotten too big, I think, to come
But
back.
then you sit
Yes,
there
he
going
has.
like, oh, but John Krasinski said yes. Like, take
Well,
the Michael Scott piece out.
Even
and
Rainn
relay-
Wilson's gone kind of big too.
Not as much.
Like he's big.
I would see him coming back.
Well, and here's the thing: Michael Scott's out, so clearly, like, you don't have to.
They've
pay
already written that
You can't
character.
But you don't have to pay Steve Carell. If you're not going to be paying John Krasinski to come
You're
back,
probably not getting Pam back.
you're not going to even try to get Pam back, because what's the point of getting one and
You
not
need
the
those
other?
two. You need those two together.
So take all the money you were going to spend on
And-
all of those people and just throw it at Rainn Wilson and hope.
And Andy's too big now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's big.
Way
Yeah.
too big.
Ed Helms is, yeah. See, and John Krasinski produces and does the directing. Like, he does a bunch of stuff
I
now. So.
think-
He's in his own Hulu show right now.
But that's what I mean. Like, he
Yeah.
does a bunch of... Well, and he's married to Emily Blunt. Like, the two of them do well, and they're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's not... Like,
But yeah, like
I
I
feel like-
say start the show with a brand new cast. Just
And not even about Dunder Mifflin or anything. Just...
But they're not doing that.
how crazy would it be if it was literally just a new office with a
Correct.
new company, new
It's
people?
called Dunder Mifflin.
No.
No.
Like,
No, that's what they're going with. They're still going to call it Dunder Mifflin.
No. They're already screwing up. I
They're
think,
saying
you
half
just...
new cast, half old cast. It's going to be a Dunder Mifflin branch.
Have
Of
they-
what?
You don't know.
What are they
As
gonna?
far as I said. But near the end of the series, they started getting into printers and.
I get that piece
so,
too.
Yeah, but
unless another company just kind of buys it and takes it.
Did we
that
need
name.
another Office? Is the biggest question of all of this. Like,
don't
I
think
feel
we
like that
needed
show
it.
ended on the highest note
It did,
could
and
possibly get.
No.
Their
It should have ended a few seasons.
It should have ended
It
a few
should have,
seasons,
but the way
their
that-
finale.
Yeah, the finale ended it like the
I still
perfect.
haven't watched the finale because I couldn't get that far in.
Just watch the last episode.
Just literally watch the last.
you could
episode.
literally
Is that
watch
the
it.
wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like they pull out all the stops for that one episode and got
'Cause-
the highest note
yeah.
it could possibly do, and then done.
It does. Like, it felt like a very good ending to the show. Like, they wrapped it up fairly well, considering, the studio was just throwing money at the creators. Like, please make more, because we have nothing to fill in your time slot, and we need you.
Goodbye.
And they're like, okay, and then Steve Carell leaves, and you're like, okie dokie.
Have fun.
Good luck.
Yeah, and then you try and bring in the big name, James Spader.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Spader had, I love Spader.
He threw
but
me off because I watched.
He needs a very specific.
He threw me off because I watched.
He seems to be fine at.
I watched Age of Ultron before watching Office, and that just threw me off.
See, and I watched.
Because I thought Ultron was in charge
Boston
of an office.
Legal, so that was Dave Spader and Captain Kirk.
Chris Pine?
No, the original Captain Kirk.
Will Shatner.
That's the one.
Yes.
The two of them are lawyers, and that show is just off the wall stupid. But you do have Dave Spader playing, almost the non-comedic character to the craziness of William Shatner, but at the same time he was also a little zany.
Yeah.
So you had that coming off, and you're going like, all right, and then he comes to the office, and you're going, this isn't your type of. This isn't your area for comedy. Like, I know where your area for comedy is. Mm-hmm. I feel like if they brought him in, he really should have been the guy going, trying to straighten out the office and going, what the heck have I gotten myself into?
Mm-hmm.
I think he did.
No,
Eventually.
no, not really.
No.
90% of his lines were just kind of euphemisms and non-rhetorical just sentences.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But the last episode was good. That's what I mean. They finished
On a
high note.
the biggest thing they could do.
And that's why I say, I don't mind The Office getting a revival of sorts, but just do it in a completely different office with a completely different set of people, selling a completely different brand.
Because I feel like the story between all of those characters has
They
basically
did. They
been told.
concluded everything.
Everyone got.
And I don't
a
care
sense-
about the ones that didn't. Someone's just follow Creed. Maybe he found a new job.
Oh my god! Okay,
Well,
half of that.
okay, that
would be pretty great.
Because again, I don't care what happens to Kevin.
I don't care what happens to Oscar.
I don't care what happens to Oscar. Angela's done.
Yeah, Angela's with
Her story wrapped. Yeah, her story wrapped up.
Rain's character.
That's what I mean. Most of them wrapped up. Again, Phyllis, don't care.
Yeah.
If they made
Stanley,
a show.
actually, Stanley
Stanley I
would be
follow,
pretty easy.
but mostly just because he'd find a new office to sit in and be.
He's my spirit animal.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Either way.
I don't know. I don't think it's needed.
No,
NBC must be getting desperate for shows.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what should happen is Michael Schur, who does The Good Place and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because he wrote for The Office. He should totally be like, I will help you with the rewrite, but you have to get my show renewed, because Brooklyn Nine-Nine is yet to be renewed for another season. So he's like, you should get my other show renewed, and then I will help you with The Office.
I'm
That will
surprised it's
happen.
not renewed yet.
That'll happen.
It's one of those shows every year. No, it is. It's one of those shows where,
Didn't
right
they-
at the deadline, all of a sudden it gets renewed, and you're like, yeah. They just don't go as meta as a Community used to. But 5 seasons, they've reached syndication now, so I mean, it's not like it's a...
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how they celebrated their 99th episode instead of their 100th episode, because they're Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Which one was that one? Was it just on air recently?
It's called 99.
I didn't watch last week's episode.
It was called... No, it wasn't. They didn't have an episode last week.
Oh.
They're all...
Everything's on there.
They're hiatusing.
They're breaking.
Okay, then I'm all caught up. Which episode is that one then?
I don't know. Hold on.
I'm trying to remember.
It's called 99.
Well, I figured that when you said that. That makes sense.
99th episode.
I'm trying to remember. Because I watched 3 of them back to back.
3 episodes ago.
Sergeant Terrence Jeffords. 4 years ago on this exact date, you told me...
I don't know.
Okay, I I'm sure
That one.
Or he's in a jumpsuit.
At the beginning joke has no... Oh! They're driving in a motorhome trying to get back from...
That one!
Quick, take my picture!
Yes,
That
the entire Die Hard sequence. This is the floor with the... Take a picture
This is
of
the
it.
fourth floor. This is the window where he, like, burst in and da-da-da-da-da. Take my picture!
That was good. That was a good episode.
Yeah. So that was their 99th episode. But yeah, they called it 9-9. And I'm like, ah. So, I mean, if that show ends, I'll be sad, because I really do like that show. But
Yes.
You will move on to other things.
I will.
It'll take me a long time. I just found it.
I've rewatched it like 6 times, so I mean, it's not like I'll be like, oh.
I just started watching it.
My biggest piece is I hope they tell
It's
them they're
from
not
Tony.
coming back early enough that, again, they can wrap things up.
Yeah, that'll be a show that the writers would be able to figure something out.
That's what I'm hoping, like, unless all of a sudden they finish this season with a cliffhanger and then never come back.
Who knows?
Because that always drives me nuts. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine likes to finish with
A massive
cliffhangers all the time.
It's one of the few shows that does that.
Still does, I know.
Yeah.
I think everybody's just afraid of getting canceled all the time. So they're like, no, we're just gonna clean off the season, and if that's where it ends, that's where it ends.
Like, even with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last season, it's like, oh yeah, reveal of space. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'd be okay if it still got canceled.
Sure, because they went to space. You're like, what happens? Oh, they went to space.
They get
It's
lost.
a space thing.
Lost
Like,
in
it's
space.
These characters are already not tied into the MCU canon already, so
Yeah.
if they get lost in space, I'm not worried too much.
How come that show hasn't been remade?
They did.
They made the movie
They made a
That's
movie. I like that movie.
with Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
See, that movie threw me off the first time I watched it because I was expecting Joey in space.
No.
You did not get Joey in space.
I like
He was
that
a
movie.
serious, like, yeah.
That's cool.
He was a serious commander of sorts. And you're like,
Which is
oh.
weird now you see him on Top Gear. I mean,
Top Gear, well, whatever. It's Grand Tour.
no.
Oh, no,
it's
he's Top. Yeah,
he's Top Gear. Grand Tour is
Yeah,
different.
Grand Tour is the regular one. Yeah, Top Gear.
Top Gear, yeah, Grand Tour is the real one.
Yeah. He did good in episodes where he played Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
He played
I'm actually just still flabbergasted that they brought him onto that show, of all people.
I don't know. You know what? In my brain, I don't know why they didn't try to get, and maybe it's because he's still touring and doing stuff. But Jay Leno, like of all the celebrities who do car stuff, like he owns a garage,
Mm-hmm.
and he's retired from and he knows how to do a talk show. Like it's.
And to some extent, like Jerry Seinfeld would have been a good thought about too. And
Yeah.
he's doing a little bit enough with his comedy shows, so.
Well, but
probably-
comedians in cars getting coffee's moving to Netflix now, so
Yeah, but
because
like,
he's done with Crave TV. Because he signed a deal with Sony ages ago, and then all of a sudden the deal ran out, and Netflix was like, "Hello, Mr. Seinfeld," and he's like, "Okay." So either way,
Alright,
The
so-
Office is coming.
Yeah.
back.
cool.
For better, for worse.
Probably
Probably
the last.
the latter of those things.
So
We'll see.
that's it. Slow,
It was slow.
gentlemen.
I think we
Still stretched it to 38 minutes.
New record?
That's a shorty.
New
That's
record.
what she said.
He's just.
I-
We don't want to know what he's doing.
Why is his hands always below the table? Ka-chunk.
And
So-
with that,
With that, we're gonna go
Yes, we will, but we'll be back
for the post-credit show.
to actually talk about things.
that might last.
We actually
longer
might be
than 38
interesting.
minutes.
Yeah, it will
Could actually-
definitely be more interesting than,
This.
News.
Whatever we found here. Either way, we'll talk to you guys soon.
While you're waiting, check us out at barrelrollnews.com.
We'll find all information about everything that we do.
Yes.
Discord chats, social media links,
Yeah.
the like.
Check it out.
All the stuff.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.